Wake up, rise and shine. It's a brand new day with Mona News. It's time to have your say. She's got the scoop, the stories, all the latest trends. Mo's got the news, let's hear it. My dear friends, from politics to showbiz, no story's too small. Mo covers it all. She's got the inside call, her voice so smooth, like honey in the summer sun. With Mo on the mic, you know the news is always fun. Mornings with Mo, the best newsy news in the world. With her style so classic and her stories unfurled, from morning till night, she's got us in the know. Turn on your radio, let Mo's newsy news flow.
Good morning, everyone. It is the 4th of September. It is Wednesday, for any of you confused because we had a holiday Monday. It is, in fact, Wednesday. I'm doing you a solid because I was also doing me a solid because I'm like, yes, it is Wednesday. I hate these Mondays where they throw you off because I'm always like, today is Monday. No, today is not Monday. Anywho, it's also date night, so I will not have nightly newsy news, but I am going to try to take Mr. Mo out for dinner. He has done just a phenomenal job of taking his entire vacation and basically working on the porch, the hallway, and doing all of these manly man things. So I definitely want to show that I have appreciated that, even though I don't know which drill bit to get him. He's like, help me with this. And he's like, hand me the screw. And I didn't realize they're different sizes. He's like, a big one. I got to help him put in my door, which I think was more frustrating for him than helpful. Let's just say there is an art to working shims that requires finesse and concentration that I lack both completely. So I did attempt to help, but I wasn't great at it. Good morning, Wolfram. Thank you for your modly mod duties. Good morning, Christine and Nanny Goat and Janie J, Jedi Jess, Greedy Bloke, Colorado Mountain Girl, and everyone else. Good morning. So Dizzy Grenade, good morning. So I definitely do need to show my appreciation because I am sure working with me is like working with the youngest, most feral, because he's like, just hand me the drill bit. And I'm like, okay, big or little? I am basically a handicap to any sort of construction project, but he still asks for my help and I still try to help. Our first story is Squab Bob. These Mondays off confuse the hell out of me. And the Tuesday after the Monday off is the most Monday day ever. So it's just not at all legal in my book. Our first story is a man that, I believe did the most brave, most, positive male thing that any person can do. He laid down his life to try to protect his girlfriend from her allegedly, obviously he's not been adjudicated, her allegedly murderous ex. So a man allegedly unalived or killed by his girlfriend's jealous ex in a Long Island mansion died trying to save her, his family says at a gut-wrenching funeral. I mean, absolutely, this is the type of man that I think we need to celebrate. That's a really bright yellow t-shirt. Dang it, Mo, why do you have to have ADHD at all times? But this is the kind of story that we need to promote. This isn't toxic masculinity. This is the most pure expression of what it means to be a man, in my opinion, using your strength to try to protect those that you care and love about. And I wanted to definitely give this man a shout out. The Long Island man allegedly shot to death alongside his girlfriend by her jealous ex husband was remembered at his Tuesday funeral as someone who loved his kids, the gym, and sports, and died trying to protect the woman he loved. Hundreds of mourners packed St. Elizabeth's Church in Melville to weep for Kenneth Pullman, the 53-year-old father of three who died last Wednesday when a deranged gunman, Daniel Coppola, murdered him and the love of his life, Kelly Coppola, inside their St. James home just before midnight. Quote, Kenny, I have written you three poems before. Each one was a poem of joy, his devastated mom, Dorothy, said, reciting a poem to her son in a heartbreaking eulogy. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Quote, this one has a different twist. How do I say goodbye to my first baby boy? I have many memories of you. I don't know where to start, but as many as there were, there will never fill the hole in my heart. You were so proud of all your children. When you spoke of them, you would beam. And now, by the hand of a monster, you are taken, and all I want to do is scream. Dorothy said her son loved sports, and he met his childhood sweetheart and eventual wife, Kim, when his family moved to Brentwood. The couple had two children together, Brianna and Tyler, before Kim passed away of cancer in 2006. Pullman had dated other women over the years and had another daughter in 2009, but his relationships never felt right until he met Kelly, said Pullman's dad, Kenneth Sr. They were soulmates, Kenneth said. People kept calling them boyfriend and girlfriend. They weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. You'd go in their house, they were in love. And my son, and anyone who played football or basketball with Kenny knows, his last act in life was selfless, trying to protect the woman he loved. My son was a hero. And this is the absolute piece of alleged human garbage slash dumpster water slash a ton of pudding in a freaking balloon that took his life and his ex-wife's life because she moved on, allegedly. The double murder has shocked the quiet North Shore town, which the Wall Street Journal once described as a quaint and historic hamlet where people knew each other's names, birthdays, and everything else about her. Authorities said that Daniel Coppola busted into the couple's $1.1 million home and took out both Pullman and his ex in the hallway. Quote, while they were in a state of undress, he fired on them with a force multiplier, taking their lives, a district attorney, Eric Abulfia, said in court. Coppola allegedly told his terrified daughter, whom he'd lured out of the same house with a text message, that he just killed the couple and left. Yes, he told his daughter, his minor daughter, he unalived both his mother and her boyfriend, and then he left. To the point where she was texting her friends like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, can you imagine what kind of sick monster does this to the mother of your children? Look, I get you may not like her ever again. You may, wish that she tripped in every crack and ran into every corner. But that's your kid's mom. I really don't get that. And look, I have had my head up my own behind. I really have. I have made some dumb calls and, maybe put my feelings before my kids' feelings. And I had to pull my own head out of my butt. Okay, so this behavior is just ridiculous. If I don't accept it from myself, then absolutely it should never get to this level. Cops arrested him in his own home in St. James, forcing him into a mental health evaluation after he talked about self-deletion. Now, the district attorney said that the gun-wielding madman admitted to killing the couple. He has since been held without bail. Now, family members said that Daniel Coppola had been laid hands on his ex-wife, allegedly. He had also typed out letters that detailed his wicked reasons for the murders, blaming Kelly for his financial woes, the prosecutor said. But Kelly found unending happiness once she met Pullman, according to her father, John Patton. The joy radiated around her. She was smiling all the time. And to have this happen, it's such a tragedy. He said, I cannot even speak. My whole family, his family, the sorrow we're feeling is overwhelming. I just can't get over this. Pullman's family is equally heartbroken. And I mean, to leave your children, again, to make your children look like this, I don't get it. You're not a parent. You're a small child having a tantrum because you didn't get your way. That is not how a parent behaves. You don't make your kids hurt like this. Absolutely just gross. So here is the weird looking first husband. Obviously, she is way out of his league, which is probably why he was upset in the first place, because she definitely upgraded. I mean, let's be real here, ladies. Upgrade. Upgrade, downgrade. I am being all the petty. I do not like this man, and I hope that he is adjudicated guilty or that the state meets its burden and he can go face Gen Pop justice, allegedly in Minecraft. I'm just saying, I'd be okay with it. Now, for all you parents out there, we are in the terror and chaos that is back to school season, and news and schools are rolling out some new dress codes. So you might want to be sure that your school isn't one of these schools that is either banning all black outfits, hoodies, Crocs, cell phones, and mirrors. Mirrors. What kind of Orwellian Brave New World that we're getting rid of mirrors? I mean, I think half of the kids in high school only go to school so they can look cool with other people. I mean, it's a brand new school year, and with new school years comes new rules. Cell phone bans, dress code changes, in some cases banning hoodies and all black clothing, and even the removal of mirrors in school bathrooms are among some of the changes that schools across America are making in the name of safety and better student engagement. Officials often cite concerns for students' physical or mental health reasons as reasons they, change things, but the rules and their enforcement aren't always cut and dry. Cell phones are a distraction, and it's a major problem. As 72% of high school teachers say cell phone distraction is a major problem in the classroom, according to a June report by Pew Research Center, more schools are enacting rules or tightening enforcements of old ones to keep students off their screens. But it's not a one size fits all approach. About a quarter of states have laws restricting devices use in school or recommend or at least incentivize limiting it, Education Weekly has found. However, more and more school districts and individual campuses are carving out policies aimed at keeping kids away from cell phones, tablets, and even smartwatches during the school day. While this move seems popular with school administrators, hundreds of principals have asked New York City Public Schools Chancellor David Banks to take away phones. He said not everyone is sold, including parents who cite wanting to stay in touch with their children in an emergency. As some of the largest school districts, New York City Public Schools and Los Angeles United School District among them, weigh how to handle the issue, many U.S. schools have already dug on strict regulations and enforcements. Some have policies banning students' cell phones from entering the school, while others require cell phones to be stored in lockers, backpacks, the front office, or in sealed magnetic pouches during the classroom time. Others still allow for smartphone usage during lunch periods or recess only. Fort Wayne Community Schools in Indiana, for example, offers a more concrete and deliberate approach to starting the school year. This district, my home state, of 28,000 students has implemented a phone-free policy for all secondary schools using magnetic yonder pouches, according to the district's website. Students bring in their pouch, a fabric bag no bigger than an average smartphone, to and from school each day. When a student enters the building, they drop their smartphone and any other personal electronic device into the yonder pouch and lock it by pinching the top flaps together. Each student is expected to carry it with them and only opening the pouch at the end of the instructional day by placing it over a large magnet unlocking system, typically at the entrances and exits of the building. The district has a broad definition of personal electronic devices that includes cell phones, smartphones, earphones, headphones, camera phones, camera devices, digital recording devices, scanning devices, personal digital assistants. Who the hell has a PDA anymore? I'm gonna need the last person with a BlackBerry to stand up. Some poor kid, like, this is my mom's old BlackBerry. She said it was really awesome. MP3 players, iPods, iPads, tablets, smartwatches, computers, radios, pagers. Who the hell is carrying a pager? I'm gonna need the last person that has a pager and the last person that has their BlackBerry to stand up right now. Hoodies, Crocs, and all black outfits are out at some schools. Beyond devices, some schools this academic year are turning an eye towards kids' wardrobes in what officials say is an effort to keep them keyed in on class. Open toed sandal slides, hooded sweatshirts, and even Crocs or foam clogs have been against the rules for years at Bessemer City High School in Alabama, school leaders tell CNN affiliate WBRC. However, if students choose to wear them this year, it could result in an in school suspension. Tight hats, sunglasses, bubble slide shoes, headbands, bonnets or bandanas, midriff shorts, shirts, tight fitting bodycon dresses. Okay, look, y'all, I have no firm opinions on Palm Pilots, so you may keep yours and display it with pride. Okay, here's the thing. There are some things that as a mom, I am going to be very honest with you. I don't particularly enjoy the crop tops. I understand it's fashion, my kids, I generally the rule is that I don't want you showing your midriff at school, but I understand the trick where my girls, let me explain to you. I understand the trick where you wear a hoodie on a 95-degree day going into school like you're gonna wear the damn hoodie all day, like I am not smart with this. I have just simply stopped fighting you. You are not pulling one over on me. I am just done arguing with you because it seems like your school doesn't give a rat's. I just didn't wanna be bothered by you getting sent home from school, I'm just saying. But you are not being all slick and clever when you wear your giant hoodie like I don't know that you're gonna take the hooded sweatshirt off, ma'ams. Anywho. So there you go. Schools are going to school. Make sure you are up to date on what your schools are changing. Thank you so much, King Bob. I love it. So I am really excited because I have been selected to show up for preliminary jury duty, and I'm going to see who judges the hair and the rack. I'm just saying, I mean, I have two really cool accoutrements with me, and I want to see who tries to pigeonhole me because of my hair. Now, the minute I say that I babble on the internet and watch trials and make fun of people for a living, I'm pretty sure I am a-okay out of there. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what do you cover on YouTube?" And I'll be like, "Court trials." Uh, and they'll say, "Oh, what is your opinion?" Well, mainly that the state should be held to their burden and there should be no burden shifting. Also, I like to make fun of people. And can I wear a wig? Like, I can just, y'all know I am going to last about 4.7 seconds. Oh, dang it. Okay, Nanny Goat, what I will do in the hour between, mornings with Mo and core and cross stitch. I will put up a poll and we will see if you guys want to watch. I am trying to finish trials that I start within a year. I know this is going to be shocking. I am definitely working on, staying on task, but I would be willing to change core and cross stitch to the flying squirrel man for today because this week is kind of a holiday week, so I would be willing to change that. But okay, I think I've made an executive decision, and we will do Flying Squirrel Man. I will just need to figure out where or find that, but we will definitely cover him during. You're welcome, kiddos. Not to mention, we are at the point, and this is my problem with my ADHD, is that we're in the part of the trial that is the hardest for me to pay attention to, which is I have realized the state has no case, but I am burdened by what has been, and that I know that they're going to continue to put up freaking witnesses that add nothing to this freaking trial. And I'm going to have to listen to random people say nothing, and that bothers me to no end. Now, in a story, an update, because I had not seen these, but apparently, Governor Hochul, fresh off of, draining the life force from a gelfling, just realized that she hired a Tricom. Who knew? A, a member of the Chinese Communist Party? I mean, ma'am, you are not even Dianne Feinstein level old and demented. How did you not realize this? Ex-Hochul and Cuomo aide enjoyed a $4 million mansion, salted ducks, ballet performances, and other luxury gifts from her double life as a Chinese agent. Well, now, okay, I don't know what salted ducks are. I will tell you a funny, unrelated Mo was a weird kid story. So, you know the song Secret Agent Man? Well, I always heard it as Secret Asian Man. And I was like, well, doesn't everyone know that he's Asian? How are you secretly Asian? And I asked my mom this loudly in Walmart once because, of course, I did. Youngest, most feral might get it from somewhere. And she was like, first of all, it's Secret Agent Man. That might be why the story doesn't make sense to or the song doesn't make sense to you. And I was like, it does make more sense when you say secret agent. Because I always was confused as to how he could be secretly Asian and not know himself. And my mom was like, that might be why you're confused. A top-ranking aide to Governor Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo is accused of working as a Chinese agent, reaping luxurious benefits and rewards from her clandestine double life, federal prosecutors said Tuesday. Linda Sun, 41, and her husband, Christopher Yu, 40, faced charges of violating and conspiring to violate Foreign Agent Registration Act, visa fraud, alien smuggling, and money laundering conspiracies, and a whole bunch of just shenanigans. In exchange for advancing Beijing's agenda in New York, federal agents alleged that Sun and Yu received millions of dollars in shady kickbacks and laundered it to buy a $4.1 million Manhasset home, a $2 million Honolulu luxury condo, and a fleet of luxury cars. Hey, guys, imagine if you had been subtle. Imagine how long you could have gotten away with this if you had moved, like, maybe to, I don't know, like a place that has 2 Targets and a Trader Joe, but not super ritzy. I mean, imagine if you had just been subtle. It's almost like you left a trail of breadcrumbs. But the Chinese government gravy train allegedly didn't stop there. Among the gifts that the grateful Chinese officials lavished on Sun and her family, according to the indictment, are, let's see here, Nanking Yeah, Nanjing style salted duck, which I didn't I don't know, I've never had duck. I will tell you the only time I have ever wanted, Peking duck for some reason, and I've never had it, was when I was pregnant with youngest most feral, and most of the, Chinese shops, around here don't really it's not authentic Asian food. I know you're shocked. We have General Tso's chicken and, like, sweet and sour chicken, which are basically chicken nuggets covered in sauce. So, it it was never something, but apparently she received 6 salted ducks from, a Chinese famous chef on July 28th, 2021, and another 6 that November. They even got more ducks, March 15th, 2022, and then again that November. Man, this woman, did she get paid in ducklings? I mean, this sounds like a duck, well, slaughter. Good lord. She also received choice concert tickets, including the Chinese National Traditional Orchestra concert at Carnegie Hall, and 6 tickets to a ballet performance, Yangzhou, I believe, at the Lincoln Center. So, yeah, I guess it's good to be a spy unless, you're gonna, again, make it look like you're a spy because there's no way you can afford this giant house. It's I mean, it again, I don't understand. I mean, I'm glad that criminals are dumb, but did either one of them look at each other and say, do you think it's gonna look shady with both of our 100K a year jobs if we buy $1 million house?" And one guy and her husband just turned back to her and gave her the critical drinker line like, "Nah, it'll be fine." I mean maybe did you watch The Acolyte and think it was good storytelling, people? Anywho, looks like she's gonna be up the river. Maybe they can send their, supply of ducks to the rest of us. I don't know. I would personally like my ducks still alive because I'd always wanted a pet duck, but I think Dingus would probably not be a good duck brother. So there you go. Now, how how does this happen? Oregon, explain yourself. An Oregon hospital was hit with a $303 million lawsuit after a nurse was accused of replacing fentanyl with tap water. Okay, yeah, but Canton ducks, I don't know if I need to make sure they were sober. Attorneys representing both living and deceased patients of an Oregon hospital filed a $303 million lawsuit against the facility on Tuesday after a nurse was accused of replacing prescribed fentanyl for pain relief with non sterile tap water in intravenous drips. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Now, the wrongful death and medical malpractice complaint accuses Asante Rogue Regional. Who the hell names a medical center Asante Rogue? Now, that sounds like a pretty cool pop name, but I don't know that anything with rogue in it. I'm going to take a person to the hospital there. But there you go. In Medford of negligence, the suit said the hospital failed to monitor medication administration procedures and prevent drug diversion by their employees. A spokesperson said the hospital had no comment. Danny Marie Schofield, a former nurse at the hospital, was arrested in June and charged with 44 counts of second-degree assault. The charges stemmed from a police investigation into the theft and misuse of controlled substances that resulted in patient infections. Now she has pled not guilty. Schofield is not named or listed as the defendant in the complaint filed Tuesday. A separate lawsuit filed against Schofield and the hospital earlier this year on the behalf of an estate of a 65-year-old man who has passed away. 18 patients in the suit, including 9 18 plaintiffs, including 9 patients and the estates of 9 patients who passed away. Now, according to the suit, the hospital began informing them in December that an employee had replaced fentanyl with tap water, causing bacterial infections. And she was taking this and putting this into IV drips. So you're taking people who have been injured or immunocompromised, and because you would like to steal medications from them, you are putting them in severe danger. I mean, this is going directly into your bloodline. This is the best way to get sepsis I have ever seen. Absolutely ridiculous. Now, all plaintiff patients were infected with bacterium uniquely associated with waterborne transmission. All plaintiffs are experiencing mental anguish, according to the suit, which seeks millions of dollars in damages for medical expenses, lost income, the pain and suffering of those who died. Medford police began investigating late last year after hospital officials began to notice a troubling spike in central line infections from July 2022 through July 2023. Oh, it took you a full year to notice a pattern? This is the stuff that kills me about hospitals. So we've had Lucy Letby, we've had Beverly Allett, we've had Elizabeth Wetlaufer. So we have these, statistically anomalous, rise in patient death. But instead of maybe, I don't know, taking out points, looking at it logically, making a spreadsheet, say, it seems like this one person is always on, is always on staff when all of these unalivings happen. No, they're like, nah, it'll be fine. I mean, I swear to God, but I need to get a critical drinker sounder where the amount of shoulder shrugging that these hospitals do for a year and a half is ridiculous. You have and all of my watchers with dangly bits and lurkers, there are no crotchular stories in this particular Mornings with Mo. So you are all safe, but it's like that doctor I reported on last night. I mean, again, you have a pattern of behavior going back to 2017, and you guys just shrugged your shoulders real hard and was like, nothing to see here. Now, it is believed that this was caused because the employee had been diverting the fentanyl into her own personal use or perhaps selling it. Now, fentanyl, we all know what that is, but she was replacing the clear liquid fentanyl in these things with unfiltered tap water. I mean, not even boiled, distilled water, that would be inert, but absolutely just gross. No, I'm sorry. There are no scorpion and or weird doctors in this one. I tried to steer clear of any crotchular stories this morning just because, I didn't want to be a one-trick pony. As a total Queen fan, and I do mean total Queen fan, and I have to say Brian May is my favorite because he wrote Fat Bottom Girls, mostly to get back at Freddie Mercury for the Bicycle song, because he effing hated Bicycle. But I am a Brian May fan. I will always love his hairdo. And there's a Brian May story. Queen guitarist Brian May reveals that he has suffered a stroke and lost control of his arm, but, quote, I don't want sympathy. Legendary Queen guitarist Brian May has revealed he suffered a stroke last week, which left him temporarily unable to use his left arm. The Don't Stop Me Now musician, 77, took to social media Wednesday morning to share the news with his fans, saying there was doubt that he'd be able to play the guitar again following his, quote, little health hiccup. I'm here to bring you some good news. Good news is I can play the guitar after the events of the last few days, May said as he twiddled his fingers in an Instagram video. I say this because it was in some doubt because of that little health hiccup that I mentioned, being a minor stroke. It was scary, I have to say. May said he lost control of his arm out of the blue during the health scare. I mean, y'all, I love Queen. I'm not going to lie, but I will say Brian May has always been my favorite, mostly because he built his own guitar. And again, he wrote Fat Bottom Girls, which I somewhat, identify with. And I'm okay with it. He praised medics for their fantastic care, adding, I didn't want to say anything at the time because I didn't want anything surrounded, I don't want sympathy. Please don't do that because it'll clutter up my inbox and I hate it. He quipped, good news, I'm okay. I'm just doing what I'm told, which is basically nothing. I'm grounded. May appeared to be in good spirits in the clips, adding that he is not allowed to drive or get on a plane as that risks raising his heart rate. Not allowed to have planes flying over, which stresses me, he said, but I'm good. The Post reached out to May's reps for further comment. The guitarist previously had health bouts in the past and very nearly had a fatal heart attack in 2022. Doctors discovered that May had 3 blocked arteries and the rocker was fitted for 3 stents, which helped keep that artery open. It was a long climb back, he told the Times back then. I've had complications due to the drugs I'm on, one of which has a stomach explosion that nearly killed me. Uh, well, okay, sir, you also, if I remember my Queenology right, you also had Hep B so bad on the first leg of the first Queen tour of America that they had to smuggle you home, claiming that you had the flu, because if they found out that you had Hep B, you would have been detained and quarantined. So I think, possibly there were maybe some contributing factors when, your health was a little bad, but I still love you, Brian May. So there you go. He's going to be okay and we get more music, which is all I'm really worried about. Uh, how in the hell? I mean, y'all, how? This is why I'm never going back to the doctors under anesthesiologist without a person. A family of a deceased Alabama man claims that the surgeon removed a liver, not a spleen. Now, here's a fun fact about these things, and thank you, Squad Bob, for gifting 1 membership. And that went to Carlos 24/7. So, welcome to the Church of Mo, Carlos. We have dark chocolate and sarcasm, but please keep your recorders and patchouli oil at a minimum. So, thank you, Squab Bob. And welcome, Carlos. I love that I have this set up back again so I can write these things down because my room is slowly coming back into a sense of, well, working chaos, which is, I can get behind working chaos. But little fun health fact, if you don't know, you can live without your spleen, but you kind of need your liver. Now, they can do lobectomies on your liver. That's how some people do living liver transplants, and it will eventually grow back. But you kind of need, a liver. I know you're going to be shocked. The more you know, ding. A family of an Alabama man said that 70-year-old William Bryan died after his liver was mistakenly removed during a medical procedure at a Florida hospital where Bryan went to have his spleen removed. Okay. Bryan went to Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital in Walton County, Florida on August 18th for a splenectomy, according to an operative report obtained by US Today. Through Joey Zarzar, the Bryan family's attorney. Thomas Shankowski, a surgeon at the hospital, performed the procedure while discussing the risks, benefits, and alternatives with Brian and his wife. Beverly, the operative report says, once the procedure was complete, instead of removing Brian's spleen as intended, his liver was removed, according to surgical pathology report that Sarzar provided to USA Today. Good morning, Fraudit Wrangler. I have the pleasure of representing Miss Bryan and her family. Unfortunately, we represent her in one of the most egregious cases of medical malpractice I have ever been involved in, this lawyer said in a news conference on Tuesday. A spokesperson for Ascension, and thank you for the gifted membership, Fraudit. And that went to Nicola Maxwell. So welcome to the Church of Mo, and thank you so much, Fraudit Wrangler. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see what the shadow box looks like on New Year's, because I think it will be completely full, and that is so awesome. I can't wait to start a new one for next year. I really love the idea that Baker came up with of recognizing when we get super chats or memberships gifted. And I think it's just a wonderful way to show that we appreciate the support. And I'm glad that he let me, put my own spin on it, and is awesome like that. And it's also nice to have something that I can show my mom that people like me. No, I'm just kidding. I'll be like, Mom, I swear, even though I'm not working a real job, people like me. They really like me. Now, again, did this person, oh, Lord, can we just make Fraudit, can we just make Dumbwaiter and Dingus Malingus leave the state? I am tired. Look, we already have Delphi in Indiana. We have Gary, Indiana. We really need, and we have high fructose corn syrup. I mean, we have enough strikes against us. Can we just make Dumbwaiter leave? Now, the spokesperson for Ascension Hospital said this: we take allegations like this very seriously, and our leadership team is performing a thorough investigation into this event. I'm confused. What's the investigation? The man he pulled out his liver instead of his spleen. Thank you, King Bob, for gifting a membership. And that went to Patrick W. I mean, I understand they're fairly close to each other, but I kind of assume that in your 8 years, and if you didn't get your medical license from, I don't know, some joint near Chernobyl, you know where a spleen and a liver are supposed to be, and they're different. So you would think. Now, the medical examiner was a bit shocked to find, well, Mr. Brian's spleen still inside his body during the autopsy, which is why they had to do the pathology report, because they're like, what did we take out? Now, before the surgery, Mr. Bryan was suffering with severe abdominal pain while on vacation with his wife at their condo in Destin, Florida. He was diagnosed with hemoperitoneum and a splenic injury. So hemoperitoneum, you have basically open space in your abdomen. Ooh. Well, not me, but so basically he had blood surrounding his organs, putting pressure on his abdomen. It would be causing incredible pain. And your spleen is an incredible source of, internal bleeding. Should you lacerate it, should you lacerate any of your internal organs, these are richly veined, richly, filled with blood because they, are part of the system that delivers nutrients to your entire body, and you kind of need it to live. So these can be incredibly critical, injuries to have, and you need to take care of them absolutely quickly. And cutting out the wrong organ is not how you do that. Now, according to the surgical notes, he died of massive blood loss after the removal of a large spleen. Y'all, I can't. Now, the problem with that is that the pathologist realized when he looked at the removed organ that was labeled a spleen, it was actually his liver. So, yeah, you kind of need that. Hopefully that this family gets some justice and that doctor never operates again, because that's kind of one of those things you need to know. And this is the poor gentleman who lost his wife, and his family, his wife who lost her best friend, you know, other things. Hospital, just get your checkbook out. Don't fight this one. Don't look like bigger dicks than you already do. I'm just saying, as a friend and a person who excels at looking foolish, don't. Just give them the money and don't act like assholes. For a friend, maybe it will help your image. Now, in Where the Hell Are This Kid's Parents? And I'm asking if we can do a crumbly, assessment on this kid's parents. A 10-year-old boy kills former mayor and his adult daughter over an argument about video game credit card charges, police allege. So this is, the former mayor and his daughter, and apparently a 10-year-old, ended their lives over a video game. A 10-year-old boy in Louisiana admittedly shot and killed an octogenarian former mayor over the weekend, along with his daughter, during an argument about video games. The victim had been identified as one-time Maiden mayor and city council member Joe Cornelius Sr., 82, and Keisha Miles, 31, his daughter. Authorities have yet to identify the alleged shooter, presumably due to his age. The boy, however, is said to be related to the slain victims. The incident occurred sometime early Sunday morning. Around 10:30 a.m., Maiden Police Department responded to a call about two bodies found inside a residence on Austin Street in the small city known for its historic red brick downtown area located some 30 miles due east of Shreveport. Quote, about 8 gunshots, one neighbor called to Shreveport-based CBS affiliate KSLA. Pow, 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 then pow, 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 pow. Responding officers discovered Cornelius and Miles dead at the scene of the crime, and they had both suffered multiple injuries. The 10-year-old's guardian brought him into law enforcement, whereupon he confessed to the murders, police told the TV station. Contrition, on the other hand, appears to be absent from whatever the child allegedly said after the fatal shooting or how he said it. Now, people, I understand. Maiden Police Chief Jared McIver told KSLA. Here is something I have to say. Everyone grieves differently, but I think we all know what grieving looks like and what it should look like. And I just, I didn't see it. The investigation is said to be in its early stages. Speaking to KSLA, neighbors in the typically placid community offered some insight on what caused the carnage. Apparently, the argument started over credit card charges related to a video game. I think that's what had happened. A neighbor told the TV station. He was arguing with him. I heard them hollering and stuff. That was my cousin. I hate that happened. All over a game. I don't think it was right. The boy was autistic. He had autism. I am so daggone sick of this. I have met so many autistic people who have not done a violent thing in their entire life. Autism simply means you have troubles communicating your needs and wants or understanding other people's needs and wants from social cues. It is not a get out of jail free card. It is not a, you know, we take away your agency, you suddenly can't make bad choices, and it's all, we're just going to chalk it up to you seeing the world and communicating on a different level. No, no, everyone is responsible to whatever level that they can achieve to practice self-control. I tell that to my sons every day because they have tried this with like, "Oh, I have ADHD and you didn't give me my medicine," because we try not to give it on the weekends to have them practice this very thing called self-control and not, blame things on external factors such as taking medication or not taking medication. I have this conversation with them all the time because I refuse to raise a person that is going to go out into the world and say, I have X, Y, and Z. And that's why I wasn't able to, react like a functional human and stay within the social contract. No, everyone to the ability that they can should be required to practice self control. These lowering of standards, and giving everyone an out is just ridiculous because I know plenty of people who have, maybe are neurodivergent and don't do anything like this. So stop using it as an excuse. It's not. End of rant. Put soapbox away. Now, despite the claims of autism, the boy's neurological condition has not been confirmed by law enforcement. Quote, Joe got to arguing with him, the neighbor went on. The boy just pulled out a force multiplier. I mean, Joe used to be a sheriff. So he has those things, around because he worked for a sheriff's department and the boy knew where that was. It's a sad thing. Miles leaves behind 3 children, according to a GoFundMe on behalf of her teenage daughter for funeral and other expenses. I'm 17. My mom and grandpa have left me on the earth with my 2 siblings. The online fundraiser reads, I have to bury my mother on my own. Please, and with the help of some family, please send condolences, love, even if you can't donate. The small community of Maiden is still reeling from the news that the longtime public servant passed in such a violent fashion. Quote, Joe Cornelius's years of service to Maiden were marked by his commitment and dedication to the betterment of our community. Maiden Mayor Nick Cox said in a statement on Facebook, on a personal note, I'm grateful for his friendship and the many ways he supported me and others in our city. During this incredibly difficult time, I ask that we all keep Joe's family in our thoughts and prayers. May they find comfort and strength in the midst of this tragedy. Neighbors echoed the loss felt in the close-knit parish seat. He was a highly respected member of the community, another neighbor told KSLA. He was with the sheriff's department. He was mayor for a little bit. He used to work at a funeral home and stuff like that. He was a good man. He was a good man. Law and Crime reached out to the Maiden Police Department for additional details and comment on this story, but no response was immediately forthcoming at the time of publication. Thank you, Squab Bob, for for gifting another membership, and that went to Bree H. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have Dark Chocolate and Sarcasm. True. I only go on my rants because I have no filter, and whatever I think in my head goes directly to my wordy bits, my mouth, and then has no filter. But sometimes that happens. I am so doggone tired of this have sympathy thing. It's the same thing I said when I saw the man, the squirrel man that we're going to see today for course and cross stitch. I mean, you continually give people, an excuse for their behavior. And then when they're finally held accountable, they cannot even fathom how to deal with the situation because they've never been held accountable. I mean, what is so shocking about this? It's like I'm dealing with Well, like the Illuminati all saw The Acolyte and thought it was the best show ever. I've I've lived with this at least slightly comforting thought that our lizard overlords were at least smart. Like, I always figured, if it's not the Illuminati, it's the lizard people or what have you. But I was always secretly hoping that the tiny cabal of, Dr. Evil and Bond villains that run things behind the curtains were smart. And now I'm like, oh my God, they all grew up during Common Core math. We don't even have a smart cabal of evil, weird, people with hairless cats sitting bald somewhere under a volcano. We have dum-dums. I'm done. I was just holding out hope that, the cabal of lizard people were going to be smart, but they don't even have a plan. Um, the UK is, of course, tackling the real questions, which are, um, not everyone gets an Oasis ticket. This is unfair, and somehow the government needs to stop it. Hey, UK, what about those grooming gangs? Nah, it'll be fine. Oh, okay, but we definitely need to work on making sure that that everyone can get an Oasis ticket. This is what we're working on. No, makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. Uh, calm down and carry on, UK. Don't ask me for any more questions. Oasis ticket sales prompts the UK government to scrutinize Ticketmasters for quote unquote dynamic pricing. I cannot believe that this is, the thing that we've decided to focus on, UK government. But let's get into this. The UK government is scrutinizing Ticketmaster as Oasis fans look back in anger at the difficult process trying to secure tickets for the band's reunion tour. Specifically, that Ticketmaster was selling tickets at roughly twice the price of the original face value. Okay, sweetums, let me explain economics to you. Uh, when there's a limited supply of something, but everyone wants a bunch of it or wants to do it, this is called supply and demand. And generally, those prices are going to raise because people are willing to spend that. That is called free market in business. This is called, again, yes, not everyone is entitled to go to an Oasis concert. And it does suck that, maybe they didn't have a couple venues set aside for cheaper tickets, but this is called business. Now, the tickets went on general sale for the band's reconciliation tour in Ireland and the UK on Saturday morning and advertised to max out at about £150, but Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing had some tickets selling for more than £400. By the time that fans were able to get out of the Ticketmaster's virtual queue to buy tickets, the dynamic priced tickets were all that there was available. Now, some fans replied in frustration to the band's social media post warning against buying tickets on unauthorized resale sites, asking whether the plan was doing anything to address Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing. But it's okay for Ticketmaster themselves to sell them for 3 times face value due to it being in demand, one ex user wrote. They're holding back tickets to charge twice the amount. Scandal. UK Culture Minister Lisa Nandy said Monday that it was depressing to see vastly inflated prices, which priced many fans out of seeing the band. Parliament was already set to look into the issue of resale ticketing. This government is committed to putting fans back at the heart of music, Nandy said. So we will include issues around the transparency and use of dynamic pricing, including the technology around queuing systems, which is which incentivize it, and our forthcoming consultation on consumer protections for ticket resales. Ticketmaster's website explains that its platinum ticket types are standard tickets that are dynamically priced based on supply and demand. It also says that it doesn't determine the ticket prices, which are set by organizer. Platinum tickets do not come with any extra perks for added prices, unlike VIP packages, which might come with a performer's merchandise or access to shorter lines. The company did not immediately respond to NBC News for a comment. Lucy Powell, a member of parliament who represents the band's hometown of Manchester, told BBC Radio Live 5 that she was among those Oasis fans who paid for dynamically priced tickets. And she did not particularly like the surge pricing, but that's how the market operates. Oasis warned fans against buying on resale websites, cracking down on scalpers by only allowing resale at face value prices. The band said on social media that promoters will cancel any tickets sold outside of Ticketmaster's own resale option, or Twickets, the ticket resale site it's partnering with. Twickets is also cutting its own service fee as a gesture to Oasis fans. Ticketmaster has faced scrutiny in the US as well, particularly after the disastrous sale for Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour in 2022, which prompted a Senate Judiciary Committee last year. Okay, I'm done making fun of you, UK, because apparently America is just as dumb. I mean, did we ever think that the music industry was on the up and up? I mean, let's be real here. We all know that we're going into a concert to pay $40 for a $10 t-shirt. We're going to pay $60 for a snack that we could have smuggled in from the Dollar Tree for $3. I mean, do we all know that things are outrageously overpriced. You are paying for the experience. And yes, this does mean that companies can offer dynamic pricing. Get over it. You cannot force someone to perform for free. But apparently, concerts are a human right now. There you go. I'm so glad that we are, tackling the big problems in both our nations, because how would we survive? Just what is going on in this world? In our final story, Imelda Staunton is going to return as Dolores Umbridge in a new Universal theme park ride. And I have finally figured out who Sarah Boone reminds me of, Dolores Umbridge, but not smart, just really enjoys inflicting pain on other people. So I have finally figured out, okay, I have a personal question to the chat. What made Sarah Boone so smiley? Because I have two options. Now, either she saw a puppy being kicked, which is horrific, or she just rewatched the end of Old Yeller on a loop for 3 hours, because nothing that makes that woman smile is good for humanity. Nothing. The Crown and Downton Abbey's actress Imelda Staunton, or Stanton, who knows, is set to return as her Harry Potter film franchise villain, Dolores Umbridge, in a new Universal Orlando theme park ride. The character will appear in the Wizarding World's Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry ride, which is expected to open at Universal's new Epic Universe park, scheduled to open in 2025. According to a promotional video released over the weekend, she has already filmed her scenes for the rides, which is expected to incorporate elements from real-life Paris and the fictional British Ministry of Magic, featured in the Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movies. Guests are going to walk through the Floo Passage and see the Ministry of Magic full scale, full glory, full glamour, said Hope Glomsky, director of Universal Global Themed Entertainment. You'll explore plenty of never seen locations like the Ministry Archives and the Department of Magical Creatures. Other characters who will appear on the ride include Corbin Yaxley, Walden McNair, the Caro family, as well as a new half elf creature named Higgledy. Okay. The Ryzen films are based on the works of J.K. Rowling. So there you go. You're going to meet a house elf named Higgledy. If it's his last name isn't Piggledy, I will just lose it. Anyway, you guys, I am going to let you go. I am going to be changing the thumbnail. We are going with the flying squirrel judge tackle man for cross and court. So I will be putting up that, but I will see you guys in about an hour. And then we will be going into the trial of, well, flying defendant, crouching judge. In fact, I think that might be my title. I don't know if that's offensive enough, but it sounds generally irreverent enough for me. Bye, guys.